Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
The country's latest homicide taking place right here on Mackey Street in broad daylight.
A video circulating on social media allegedly shows two men responsible for a killing on Sunday evening.
The government is looking at several amendments for that Oban Energy deal.
The opposition leader fires back at the PM over his recent criticisms of the PLP.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. The country recording its fourth murder in 3 days after a gunman shot and killed a man leaving a business on Mackey Street. Giorgio Bain reports.
The country's latest homicide taking place outside the Centerville Pharmacy. We understand that the victim was waiting in line at one of the local establishments. The body of the victim lay face down in a pool of his blood next to a shattered Guinness bottle. Witnesses say the man, dressed in a red t-shirt, black jeans, and black slippers, made the purchase moments before his tragic death. Superintendent Solomon Cash offered few details on the scene.
The only information we are working with at this time is that the victim just came from one of the local establishments here as a customer. And as he was walking across the street, he was accosted by a lone gunman who opened fire on him and shot him multiple times. As a result, EMS was called in. They examined the body and pronounced him dead on the scene.
We understand the shooting prompted a nearby school to go on lockdown. Operators of the nearby Bush Cook restaurant told us they dodged for cover after gunshots rang out. Richard Johnson, who arrived to work moments after the shooting, met the man's body in the street. Despite what happened, he said it's a relatively safe area.
This is the first time that I've ever even seen or heard that something like this happening in this area. So that's not true. I mean, I feel comfortable. I think people who come to the establishments, both establishments, feel the same way as well.
Police made this familiar plea to anyone with information on this latest killing.
We are appealing to members of the public who lives in this area or who may have been also customers at these establishments that if they have any information to contact the police at 502-9991 or our police emergency number 9991 or 9992.
This latest homicide brings the country's murder count for the year to 16. Reporting for Our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
All right, thanks, Giorgio. Well, police confirming that they have in their possession shocking footage showing the individuals they believe are responsible for a daylight shooting in Fox Hill on Sunday. Jared Higgs has more.
Come here. We're calling for that dollar. Give me some of the shell for that dollar.
A video allegedly showing the men responsible for a brazen Sunday afternoon shooting that left a man dead is currently making the rounds on social media. In the video, two men can be seen riding a moped, one wearing a black sweater and dark shades, and the other sporting a helmet and a white shirt. Just as the men leave the camera's view, the individual in the black sweater appears to pull something from his waist. A split second later, shots ring out.
That is a video that's in the possession of the police. How it got out in social media, we're unaware of that. That video was quite helpful to the investigation.
The Nassau Guardian understands the victim of that Sunday shooting is 26-year-old Javardo Thompson. Police say the incident took place at around 3 p.m. and resulted in a manhunt on foot. Officers chased the suspects. However, they eluded them behind Bahamas Harvest Church off Blueberry Hill in Fox Hill. However,
I can report to you that the matter in Fox Hill that happened on Sunday evening, we have one suspect in custody.
I'm never really surprised when there is a murder, whether it's in Fox Hill or elsewhere.
Thompson's family did not wish to be interviewed on camera. However, his grandmother told the Nassau Guardian that he was the father of a boy and a girl, ages 2 and 3. J. Carl Ramming is the senior pastor of St. Paul's Baptist Church in Fox Hill. He's also the great-granduncle of Thompson.
Joe came from good stock, man. Like many of us came from good stock. And all families, there's one or two who may not hold up or live up to the standard in which they were brought up.
Now, acquaintances of Thompson say he was in this barber shop on Bernard Road before he was attacked. They say it was about an hour after he left the shop that shots rang out near the Fox Hill roundabout. Persons who were in the barbershop say Thompson's family, including his young son, were with him. His grandmother says despite challenges he may have had in the past, he was a good father and he was trying to turn his life around. As for ramming, he says Foxhill is still a quaint village despite its murderous reputation.
But Foxhill at large is a peaceful community, peaceful people live in Foxhill.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
About 30 people were around the negotiating table to hash out the Minutes administration's proposed amendments to the controversial Oban Energy deal. Now, while it's not clear how long these high-level talks will take, the Labor Minister said they are committed to the process. Jillian Gray reports.
The government and executives from Oban Energies met for 7 hours on Monday and again on Tuesday, going over the finer details of that controversial deal. Labor Minister Dion Folk said the meeting was very productive as the government outlined its concerns and laid out its proposed amendments.
The environmental provisions are our main concern, and we want to make significant changes to the environmental clauses. Also, secondly, the economic clauses to get greater benefit, not only to Grand Bahama, but to the Bahamas. And thirdly, some of the legal provisions we wish to change.
The $5.5 billion deal has been shrouded in controversy since its inception. Folks said when negotiations commenced on Monday, there were about 30 people around the table. He thanked the government's lawyers, technical teammates, and Grand Bahama consultants for their hard work. The negotiations continued on Tuesday at the Ministry of Finance.
We listened to the environmental community, to all of the environmental groups. Of course, the media and the editorials had a significant input in shaping the government's position on this. The bottom line is the Prime Minister and the Cabinet want to be responsive to the concerns of the Bahamian people.
While he maintained that Oban's team was very receptive, he said he could not say how long these negotiations could drag on for.
We will wait a written response from them as to whether they agree or disagree with our changes. We have not set a time frame for that yet. That will be set today at the end of the meeting today. Then I will take a report, a comprehensive report to Cabinet, and Cabinet will make a decision on the way forward.
Oban's President Alexander Grikitis told the Nassau Guardian that he is still 100% confident in the deal. Folks didn't answer directly when asked if he feels the same way, but he did have this response for PLP leader Philip Davis.
The leader of the opposition yesterday said that we should just go ahead and make all of the proposals that we want to make to the agreement public. But you don't negotiate like that. You have to, first of all, inform the party of the changes that you want to make and have a private discussion, and then inform the public after Cabinet has the opportunity to make a decision.
Now again, folks could not give a timeline as to when negotiations would be complete, but he said the government will continue its negotiations until they arrive at the right formula for the deal. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
All right, thanks, Jillian. Well, a planned tour of the new General Post Office by PLP leader Philip Davis ended quite abruptly after he and party members were refused entry due to safety reasons. But that didn't stop Davis and his team from getting a look at ongoing construction. Jackhammers, drills still going, sheetrock and wood still going up. Signs of ongoing construction to what will eventually be the new General Post Office. But when PLP leader Philip Davis and senior party members sought to take a tour, they were stopped just as they entered. The reason? This sign that read, "Danger, hard hats, steel-toe shoes, and safety glasses required beyond this point."
We were told by the security officer that he wanted the names of all persons who were going to be entering the building, and that we needed a hard hat, steel boots to be able to go beyond this point. We note the sign that said that. We obey the sign, but we observe that persons in there don't have those requirements.
Now, as for whether the PLP requested permission to take the tour?
No, we did not.
The completion date for the General Post Office at Town Center Mall has pushed back numerous times, from a promised Christmas 2018 opening to February. Back in January, Transport and Local Government Minister Remwood Welch said the government's inability to move post boxes contributed to the delay. But the site at Town Center Mall tells a different story, with clear construction still underway.
We asked for an accountability. We need an explanation from the minister responsible for postal services. We need an understanding from the Minister of Works as to what is in fact going on, and when would we expect regular postal services to be restored to the country. It's disrupting businesses. It's impacting on the economy.
No new date has been given for the completion of the work and opening of the General Post Office at this location. The Minnis administration did away with the previous government's plans to utilize the Independence Drive shopping plaza across the street from Town Center Mall. Questions have also been raised over Immigration Minister Brent Simonet being a shareholder in the building and ultimately benefiting from government renting it.
I think the point is being made about the waste of our public funds, the prioritization of self-interest over the public interest, and that is the point we make today.
Following a highly publicized knife attack on Bahamas Air manager Harold Williams in Florida, Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar said, though unfortunate, the incident does not warrant the Bahamas government issuing a travel advisory to Bahamians visiting the U.S.
I think that, we have to be very mindful that 74% of our foreign visitors come from the United States. So it's a heck of a lot more impactful when they issue a travel advisory as opposed to when we issue a travel advisory. So we don't want to get into a tit for tat because we'll never win that battle. Our economy is extremely reliant on foreign visitors from the United States, and so we must tread very cautiously in how we respond to their travel advisories.
So far this year, the U.S. has already issued 2 travel advisories to their citizens traveling to the Bahamas. Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield agreed with his cabinet colleague and added that the government does not see this incident as a cause for alarm.
The government of Bahamas will always act in the best interest of Bahamians, in their security and in their economy. If we feel that Bahamians are threatened to any country that they travel to, an advisory will come forward. In this instance, we don't feel so.
Now, despite suggestions that the incident may have been a hate crime, Henfield said there is no evidence to support that.
One is too much. If it's a hate crime, one is too much and it's intolerable and should not be tolerated by anyone or supported by any country. Okay? But I'm not going to speculate on conjecture.
And you don't see this as a cause for alarm?
I mean, no. No, I personally don't see it as a cause for alarm. We had what I deem to be an uncommon attack on a Bahamian who walked into a eatery of some sort for whatever reason, to do business or to use the restroom. I listened to the report last night given by Mr. Williams on Florida station. He didn't indicate anything that was said to him to suggest to him that this was a crime of hate.
The long list of bidders interested in purchasing the Grand Lucayan Resort has been whittled down from about 60 to about 3 or 4 bidders, according to Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar, who expressed confidence in government's ability to sell the $65 million resort in a timely manner.
I'm quietly optimistic. Something will happen very shortly. So we'll wait and see. You know, we're in the negotiation phase, so we're hedging on what we can disclose and not disclose, but it's for a reason. We're negotiating. We don't want to, show our entire hand within the press. We're focused on it. I would say probably 3 or 4. 3 or 4. We're very, we're negotiating quite closely with them. So I'm quietly optimistic.
Despite strained negotiations between Lucayan Renewal Holdings and the union representing hotel managers who have applied for voluntary separation packages, de Aguilar said he met with the union president and those talks are going well.
I met with the union yesterday. They're progressing very well. We're in the negotiation phase, so I'd rather not negotiate this in the press. But I had a very fruitful and interesting conversation with Mr. Obi Ferguson yesterday, and we'll see where it takes. It's a negotiation, and we're waiting for the negotiation process to complete, but it's moving, we're talking, everything's going well.
Still to come, the PLP accuses the Prime Minister of campaigning on the public purse. Plus, Zonza Club partners with Rev and Fusion to honor women. Stay tuned.